Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 126. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra from Savage. Spooky time still, guys. We're recording this day before Halloween, so just indulge us, even though it's November 1st, which is probably like, the Armistice Day of Germany. I don't know. I'm making this stuff up as I go along, but then I'm joined. Actually, Dia de los Muertos, so still kind of spooky, scary, and respectful of the dead. Joined by my carnage-carrying Canardian, Mark Carabin.
How you doing? Welcome to this completely spooky, not spooky. Yeah, because I just decorated for Halloween tonight. So we had our siding and our roofing all redone, and so I had staging and all that kind of stuff all over my house. Couldn't really decorate, and then they finished, and we went away this weekend. And now Halloween's here, and it's like, shoot, I love decorating. I love Halloween so much. So we went out in the rain tonight, and we're just like, we got to do this. We got to do it tonight. Let's go. So it was dark, it was rainy, but we got it done. And now I'm ready to go. But yeah, we're recording this, and it's like spooky November 1st. I don't know.
We are like, it's like Christmas in our house, where it's like we don't take down our decorations for like 2 weeks after anyway, so it's gonna feel like Halloween for 2 more weeks. So just like this, you know what?
Yeah.
You people are trying to push the holiday stuff right now, Mark, like Christmas Hallmark movies, and it's like no, hold it back. Hold back the dam. Yeah. We got to let this, enjoy this a little bit longer. I'm wearing if you watch it, I'm wearing my Monster cereal shirt, new shirt this year. It glows in the dark. I'm all in.
That is awesome.
And we carved our pumpkins last night. We watched The Haunted Mansion. We watched part of The Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
I had to give up on that movie.
the new one.
Oh boy, it was rough. It was really rough. I'm like, they just really struggle with that property, but oh well.
Yeah. I found that there were a few parts that I was like, yeah, I see what they're doing. I found the third act was a little less interesting than some of the other stuff. Or like more, I don't know. It felt like it was just going somewhere, and then they were like, "Hey, we got to wrap this movie up." It was like a fun, like a cute Halloween movie. You know what I mean? Like if you're looking for something like really scary or something, like I'd put it in the same lines as, maybe not as iconic and classic instantly as like Hocus Pocus, but like it's just, it wasn't like jump scare or anything. It was just like a movie that happened to have some ghosts in it.
I love a good spooky, and I also love the scary. So we were watching the Goosebumps series on Disney Plus, and that's a lot of fun.
Is it good? Actually. I want to get into it.
It's really fun. And what they do, Mark, is like it's got a full arc, but every episode is based on one of the books, like The Haunted Mask, The Dummy.
Nice.
So it's really good, and it's really funny because Justin Long has become like he's kind of a pseudo B-tier celebrity actor, and he's not afraid to be in anything, and he's not afraid to like just do stuff he finds fun, and he always puts 100%. He's kind of like a major star within this, which is great. So I appreciate Justin Long just going along for the ride. But you know what, Mark?
Genslinger in New Girl was always fantastic. I always loved when Gens made an appearance.
Yeah, I just finished watching that show about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, nice. That was a show where it definitely struggled at the end, because you could just tell that it was hard to keep the crew together. And but definitely recommend it. Love it. So folks, enjoy your trick-or-treating. If you did and you're eating your candy while you're listening to this episode, don't eat too much. Check your candy, and nobody's gonna put drugs in your candy, because why would they waste it on other people? Oh well. We're gonna talk about something before we get into our patrons, because we love them. But before we do that, we're gonna have a guest. We're gonna have Lee Navarro, our first guest on Co-op Mode ever, and a good friend of the show. He's one of our admin folks on our Discord, and Lee is the charge of Phoenix Overdrive, a great former podcast. They don't really podcast anymore, but they have found their calling when it comes to Extra Life and raising money for kids, sick kids in hospitals. And it's really amazing. They've been doing that for, 5 years now, probably. And this has been embraced by several communities. Carpool gaming, I believe, the PS Trophy Room with Joseph Moran and Kyle Stevenson and all those folks, and a bunch of other people also get involved. And Marcus O'Neill's son is I would say, kind of like the star of that show, because he is a child
Mm-hmm.
that is in and out of the hospital just because of the circumstances that are beyond his control. But it's really important that people help these kids that are in a hospital. If we've got healthy kids, we're very lucky. Those who don't, I feel so bad for them in their circumstances, but they're stronger than most of us are. So we wanted to call out this, since Lee isn't here to talk about it. So Mark, this is coming up this weekend,
Yep.
November 4th and 5th. A lot of folks are making the trek to Rome, New York. I know
Mm-hmm.
we've tried to attend, but it's just not a great time. My son's birthday's this weekend. You've got a birthday coming up. A lot of things are happening this time of the year, but they will be streaming, doing lots of events, and above all, even if you can't attend, donate. So Mark,
Mm-hmm.
I know they always give away great prizes, and they do some great streaming all day long. And so I'll be checking it out as
Oh yeah.
much as I can on their streams.
Yeah, me too. My birthday's Saturday as well. So, um, yeah, so I'm not really, we have some other like family plans and some other things going on. And, yeah, I haven't really streamed in a long time. So I don't know what kind of streaming impact following I could get, anyway, but, it's always been a fun time to participate or watch or just be anywhere related to, like Todd said, if you're not participating, uh, share. If you can donate, do that. If you can't donate, just tell people about it. Just try to make the as big of an impact as we can, as a community, and as listeners of the podcasting community. So, what Phoenix Overdrive does, what all of these different podcasters and streamers do, is amazing. Every single year, I'm always shocked by how much everyone raises. It's always amazing. So I hope this year is no different.
Absolutely. And we can do more together. Phoenix Overdrive, they have a goal of $40,000 this year. They've already raised 4,500 without even really doing any major events yet. So that's going to be
Nice.
coming up. We'll share this in the podcast notes so you know how to reach out, and we'll be talking about it in the Discord. Lee always posts there, and then we
Yeah.
can share it obviously across social media and let everybody be engaged. And if things change next year, maybe I'll actually use my PC for good, Mark, and learn how to stream and not feel like a moron. So we'll see how that goes. Yes. So folks, yes, check out phoenixoverdrive.com and Extra Life and help some sick kids now. So with Mark, now we need to do our due diligence and thank our Patreons. So Mark,
Woo.
you want to tell a little bit about our Patreons?
I do. Our Patreon's a great place to go to get inside exclusive things. There's a few exclusive shows. There's some time stuff. I have a couple of things coming up that I can talk about here, even though it's not super relevant to video games. But on the Star Wars side, I just interviewed Timothy Zahn over the weekend. I'm going to be posting that up as a Patreon timed exclusive. So our Patreon listeners will get that one first. I'm also going to be interviewing Sam Maggs, who wrote Star Wars Battle Scars. I was speaking to her on the weekend, and the con that I went to that was organizing all of this had 15-minute interview blocks. So I introduced myself to Sam before we were supposed to record, and we basically spoke like for a few minutes, and then she said like, are you like in a rush to do this? And I was like, not really. And she was like, well, let's give ourselves more time. Like I can do a half hour or an hour. She wants to just like call me sometime and we'll just chat and have an extended interview that won't be as rushed as 15 minutes. And I'm talking like 15 minutes, like introduction, pleasantries, setup,
Yeah.
shake hands afterwards out the door. Like the Timothy Zahn interview, I think is going to be about 14 minutes because the dude wouldn't stop talking, which was awesome. Which was awesome. Like he looked
Yeah.
disappointed when I had to be like, hey, we got to wrap this up, because I could see the Halcon guy being like, come on, guys, there's someone else waiting for this room, because it was like the one interview room for everyone. So I saw what's his name from The Mummy.
Billy Zane.
No,
Why did I say
the like
Billy Zane?
Guardian, the Guardian guy.
Oh, the
Odette?
actual mummy? Odette
No,
Fair?
Odette Fair.
He's great.
He was in the interview room before me and Timothy Zahn were. So I was like, oh, hi. He kind of like went off somewhere, and then I was leaving, and then on the way back, I was coming down the escalator, and Chad Michael Murray was going up the escalator, and it was just like, hey, that's cool. And my wife was very jealous. So there was like a bunch of like weird, like little celebrity spottings, but Timothy's on going up soon. Patreon exclusive. They'll get that for like a week or so, and then I'll post it for everyone. And then I'll do the same thing with Sam Maggs. There's a bunch of other shows. Todd, Charlie, you guys are always doing like fun and exciting different things with your show. So if anyone's interested in checking out all of this stuff, you can actually get a 7-day free trial by going to patreon.com/secretfriendunite. We also have to thank our Friends with Benefit tier. That's Corey and HD, John Sadorf, Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, and Brennan Myers. Brennan, I'm not reading that whole name. I know it's just to piss off Joseph Moran. So with Extra Life happening right now, we don't want to piss off Joseph Moran,
Kinder,
because he's
gentler.
going to be saving some money, earning some money
Easily.
for
Yeah.
some sick kids. So there we go. The BFF tier, can't thank these people enough. Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias, Missy Merchant, Andy Milliken. Absolutely the best. And we have the Phoenix Sisters cosplay to assign a power up to, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we do. And there are two of them. And great folks. We've had one of them on our podcast before. She's great. Blanking on the name. It starts with a K. Casey? Kaylee? And Kelly? No, it's Kelly and Crayley. That's what it is. So Crayley with a C, not Kelly with a C. So Kelly and Crayley. And they both do cosplay. They are a lot of fun. And actually, Kelly has a book she's wrote 2 books, I believe. So she sells those as well. So with that information, Mark, and they're big cosplayers, cool. What kind of power-ups would you give both of them?
You know, with a name like Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, I'm going to give one the disguise ability from Fortnite, which allows you, usually you have to talk to someone, or you go enter something like a telephone booth or something like that, which is a great throwback to Superman. And you can change your disguise, and then NPCs will leave you alone, or people like other players will think you're a shrub, or a stack of tires. I was running around the other day disguised as a porta potty, and it was
not obvious.
fantastic. It was so good because it
Did someone try
doesn't.
to use you?
No, but it was great because I actually went for a swim. I had to cross a river to get to another location, and I'm just like swimming as this porta potty, and it was just completely just the most ridiculous thing in the world.
And people thought the Metal Gear Solid box was weird.
I know. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. But that's the power I'm saying, and I'm gonna let the sisters duke it out for who wants which power. I think I'm not gonna assign a specific one to one person right now, because I want to cause some sibling conflict. So the other one, the other one that I'm going to assign is right in the name, Phoenix, I'm going to assign the ability to call Phoenix down anytime you need to, so you can help revive your fallen teammates
Like Final
from like
Fantasy, the
the
Phoenix
Final
Down.
Fantasy. Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah.
I like
So
that.
that's one has unlimited Phoenix downs and the other cosplay. So that I'm getting both parts of the things there,
I like
and
that.
then some
I like that.
sisterly conflict. So all the words.
Perfect. So, I'm going to go down kind of a similar path because of cosplay. So, we think of skins and armor sets like that. So, I'm going to allow them to imbue, like their power up is their garb always gets +5 health. That's like it's like and whenever they've got it always stacks. So extra 5, extra 5. So that's one of theirs. So they can choose that, brain slicker or I don't know. What was the division where it was like, hey, a bunch of hoodies that are +25 armor. I'm like, why does a hoodie have armor? I don't know. It's the division. That's what they do. The other one would be Phoenix, laying to that point, Mark, as well. But I'm thinking of more like fire ability. So
Oh
basically,
yes.
you get the fires of the Phoenix, and you can do like a raging fireball. But it's always on. It's got unfortunately has a very slow recharge to go back. So basically, you get to use it probably every 5 seconds or so, kind of like Diablo, where you get that recharge on your ability. But there you go. You can use fire.
Yeah,
I think fire is cool. Fire. Thanks, Beavis.
I like it.
So there we go. Kelly and Crayley, hopefully you enjoyed that. And I think we're caught
Mm-hmm.
up, Mark. I don't know. We will see if we get generous and go back and loop back around again. And Charlie told me you guys need to get on the extra bonus stuff with your podcast as well.
Yes, yeah, we had been slack, so we're gonna hit that hard in the coming weeks.
So there you go. Charlie needs to do that with the Star Trek stuff too. So there we go.
Mm.
He told me to talk to you about it. So sorry, we're having a inter podcast discussion right now. So enjoy that. So you Star Wars fan, and Star Trek fans, enjoy. So with that, something you know what I think everybody's going to enjoy this one. And that is our buy rent return this week, and it's all about Halloween candy. And I was kind. I played a treat, not a trick, and like didn't pick like the worst candy, like candy corn, circus peanuts, black
Mhm.
licorice. I don't know. Mark, name another bad candy. Is there weird
The
like Canadian
candy
candy I'm not aware of?
I don't know about you. My grandmother, God rest her soul, um, but she always had like just a like a plate or a bowl of of hard candy
Oh, the
that would
Brox.
always just kind of just congeal into one massive hard candy. I don't know if anyone else's grandmother rocked that little like glass dish bowl kind of combo thing. And there'd be like a cover on it, but it would just, you'd open up the cover and you'd be like, yeah, I'll have a little peppermint hard candy. And you go to try to take one, and the whole thing just comes out in the shape of the bowl. And you're like, well, maybe not today. Um, that's
I
it.
know
So
what you
that's
mean.
that one. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. My dad liked Necco wafers, Mark. They were the worst candy in the world. They were like depression candies that you didn't actually
No.
have to eat now that it's no longer in the depression, but they were like chalky and they tasted of like nothing. It was like, why would you eat these, Dad? But it was like nostalgia candy for some reason. I don't know. Oh well. Oh well.
Mhm.
But I picked Reese's peanut butter cups, M and M's, and I wasn't specific on the type of M and M's, and Snickers. And
Okay.
maybe it's hard because with M and M's, you got the old standbys. You've got there's a billion kinds of M and M's these days. There's
Yeah.
like mocha. There's cappuccino. There's uh, crispy. So quite honestly, we have an M store at the Mall of America too, and I'm like, wow, even you can get them customized too. It's pretty cool. So there we go,
Nice.
Mark. So I would say these are all pretty top tier candies.
Great
So
choices, I gotta say.
all right. So what would you buy, rent, or return?
This is tough. I think every once in a while I do love a Snickers bar. So like chocolate, weakness for me. Chocolate peanut butter though, you're hitting on some other level stuff right now. So that's why I'm going to start by returning Snickers, because I have to be in the mood for a Snickers. Whereas if you put chocolate and peanut butter in front of me, I'm going to eat it. Don't care. Just like turkey dinner, I'm stuffed. I can't move. You're like, here's a Reese's cup. And I'm like, I'll find some room. All right. Like, don't worry about
Slide
it.
it in.
So
Slide
that's
it in.
that's how it's working. So that would usually lead me to make Reese's my buy. However, you brought up a great point about multiple kinds of M&Ms. So if you're throwing some peanut butter M&Ms in this mix,
Okay.
oh my friend, those are a weakness, because regular M&Ms, I don't know if our listeners are going to know what Smarties are. And I don't mean the little chalky American version of Smarties. I'm
Like
talking
sweet
the,
tarts. Yeah.
yeah, no, return those every day. I'm talking the Canadian Smarties, which are like M&Ms, but better. Any other people are saying that M&Ms are better than Smarties, Canadians, listen, I'm watching, I'm listening. You're wrong. Smarties are better. Okay. So, but like peanut butter M&Ms beat everything. Oh man, this is tough. I think I'm gonna buy M&Ms just because you said blanket statement every M&M. If you said regular M&Ms, that's my return. But because peanut butter could be an option there, I'm buying those. I'm renting Reese peanut butter cups, which hurts me. But there's also so many different kinds of Reese peanut butter cups. Did you try the ones with the potato chips in them?
Oh yeah.
I didn't
There's the one with the
expect
Reese's
those to be
Puffs
good, and
in
they are.
them.
Those
Yeah.
are good. Those were
It's crazy.
surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Oh shit. This is a tough one. I think I got to stick with that. I'm gonna buy
You would have
M&Ms.
peanut butter Snickers, Mark.
Why are you doing this to me? Why? You
Peanut
said
butter.
this was easy, and you keep throwing these things. I'm gonna buy M&Ms, but only the peanut butter ones.
You're like the star that in your rider. It's like, I only want green M&Ms. Get the rest of those
Only
trash candies out of there.
the blue and the orange peanut butter M&Ms hit different, okay? Especially the blue
Well, it used to be
ones.
tan. Before blue, it was tan. Yes,
Tan?
tan, like
Kind of
khaki.
backwards. What?
Khaki is a color and a pant.
No.
Yes. Tan existed in until 1989. So Mark was like a wee lad. You could get
I was
tan
just gonna say, I
M&Ms.
don't think I had M&Ms before 1990
Camel brown.
something.
I don't know.
So
Is that a
that's.
better description of the color? I mean, it
I know the
is.
color you mean, but it's not a M&M candy coating that I'm familiar with. That's confusing.
Some people call them
Uh,
beige.
I don't want to eat a beige candy. That sounds like a
Yeah.
depression era nostalgia kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so my
Guess what?
choice.
Oh, Mark, fun fact. M&Ms, 1954, peanut M&Ms were introduced only in tan.
Oh my goodness, the peanut M&Ms return. Peanut butter
Oh,
M&Ms
no.
buy.
Oh, no.
Uh,
You like your
I
peanut
know.
only in butter form.
That's it. Yes, I'm weird like that. I do like peanut M&Ms. I
Sure.
do, but not as much as peanut butter. So buy peanut butter M&Ms,
Okay.
rent Reese's peanut butter cups, return Snickers. This was harder than I had to make it.
See, I kind of
Take a
tortured you
please
then
take
in a
over.
lot of ways. I made it harder than it had to be. It's not like
You
trash
did
candy was thrown in. Like, what's the worst trash candy? Okay, they're all trashed, and I could care
right.
less. Moving on.
Yeah, yeah. Which apparently was Brennan Meyer's choices for all of these. Like that. Like we'll get to his after yours. What? How are you feeling here?
Well, this is hard because my family makes fun of me because I'm a guy. If I get like a little pint of ice cream or whatever the smallest like Haagen-Dazs size is, I will have like 3 spoonfuls and I'll put it away. I'm okay coming back in a couple days getting more. They
Yeah.
are the oh, That is a one serving opportunity. So they make fun of me, Mark, and it's like, and
Your
then I go
family
back.
throws out the lid when they open it. That's
Oh,
the kind like they're just devastated.
it's once opened, it will
Goodbye,
expire
lids. Yeah.
immediately if you
Yeah.
don't. And then
Yeah.
they're like, I'm like, where's it all at? And they're like, well, if you really wanted it, you would have ate it in like 3 days. Why
Yeah.
are you forcing me to timelines for the food I love? I like a taste. I like to make it last.
Yeah.
So I am a guy that I like something, but I don't like it in excess. I will like a little taste gets me far. So that's where I'm like hard. Like, which ones do I really want? Which ones can go back for more versus I don't want anymore. So that's where this is going to be really dumb. That's why I like the kid size, the treat size, the what is it?
Right.
Small
Yep.
fun size.
So
That's
fun
the
size.
official
Yep.
name, fun size. I really like fun size because I feel like I can eat more of those, and essentially 3 of those are the equivalent to one candy bar. So, but you know what? I am going to go with Snickers. I'm going to buy Snickers. I love a good Snickers. It's got a little bit of everything under the sun. It's got your caramel, your nougat, your nougat, your peanuts, and it's great, especially in the fun size because I feel like I can eat 2 or 3 of those. I'm like, I'm good to go.
Yep.
I'm good to go. I'm going to rent Reese's because I love Reese's cups, but man, oh man, it's a very hefty treat. I mean, it's a lot of peanut butter.
Yeah.
And peanut butter is
Yeah.
not exactly a
Yeah.
light thing. So I love my peanut butter toast, love that. So I'm gonna rent Reese's cups, and I eat I don't know if you've seen all the Reese's cups commercials. I love them. They're just fun. The Dracula eating he has the 2 fangs in it. It's great. I always eat the edge of the chocolate first. Not sure why. Don't know
Okay.
why, Mark. It's just that it's my thing. It's
right.
my kink, my chocolate kink. But I love it. I love that, and they're actually really good frozen too. Put them in the freezer, really good too. It's different. It eats different. Try one. You might
I have
hate
to
it,
run to the
but
store.
yeah. Okay. There you go. I've got so much candy. I think I oversold because it's going to be like 30 degrees here Fahrenheit, which is it's freezing.
Yep.
So we may not get many trick or treaters. So I will have a lot of candy left over. And then lastly, M&Ms. I don't know. I've never loved M&Ms. I don't know. They just don't do much for me. Even the different varieties. I like Reese's Pieces better than um peanut butter M&Ms.
Okay. Yeah. If you threw Reese's Pieces in this, it'd be a different mix
Not sure
again.
why, because it's like M&M has a chocolate shell, where Reese's has is it a peanut butter shell? I don't know.
No, it's like
Tastes a little
a
different.
candy coating. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So it's
very
colder.
good though.
It's colder there than it is here because it's still. I don't know what the conversion is, but it's hold on. I'm gonna figure this out. It's still like 40, 46 ish here
Fahrenheit.
right now. So yeah,
Okay.
Fahrenheit. So yeah, you guys
Got it.
are chilly.
Yeah. Well, I think the person that made the smartest choice, though, he said, "Screw your choices. I'm picking my own candy." And our friend, the Winter Gamer, basically said, "Trade it all in for Butterfingers." And you know what? I love a Butterfingers. I just do. Bart Simpson said, "Better not lay a finger on my Butterfinger." He's absolutely right. It's a great candy.
It's a good candy.
Oh,
You're telling me you'd trade in Reese's peanut butter cups and any flavor of M&M for Butterfingers? I can argue against Snickers versus Butterfingers. Let's go. But like, you're not talking Wonder Bar. You're talking Butterfingers?
Wonder
No.
Bar. What do you bringing some
Wonder Bar.
Canadian 9 cents into this, Mark? What is a Wonder Bar?
You don't have Wonder Bar down there?
Is that like a German thing? Wunderbar. Is that what they say? I don't. I'm
Probably.
looking this up. What is a Wonder Bar?
What?
A Wonder Bar is a movie on Walmart. Wonder Bar
No.
is a thing in New Jersey. Doesn't even come up in my search in Google, Mark.
What?
There's a film.
No.
Yeah, I look up. I mean, I put a candy after it because apparently it doesn't recognize it as a thing you'd eat. I'm looking up.
What?
Yes, it's Wunderbar. Wunderbar. Okay, Cadbury creamy pen. Okay, this is on. I can buy it on Amazon apparently. Yeah, it's by
You
Cadbury. That's
don't
why.
have Wonder Bar?
No, Cadbury apparently was banned in the United States. They only go to I mean, they're obviously UK and Europe, and then they go to Canada, but they don't go to the US.
What the fudge.
I don't even know what to compare this to. Like a whatchamacallit? That's an actual candy bar.
What's a whatchamacallit? What? I don't.
It's probably a Wonder Bar. We're both saying that. What is this?
I know, and I know. Okay,
Who knew this was going to be such a controversial segment?
Every time I learn something new about the States, it hurts my brain.
And when I look up whatchamacallit, Mark, I put them in the, it's like the first search is the candy bar. It's by Hershey.
Okay.
And it's actually whatchamacallit, all one word. And yeah, it's got like, it's peanut flavored crisps, caramel, and chocolate.
Okay. Interesting. I knew you guys didn't have Coffee Crisp. You don't have Crispy Crunch either, do you?
What?
You guys have Crispy Crunch?
Crispy with a K or something?
No.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know then.
We're just going to turn this into the candy bar show. Forget video games for a week. We already talked about
what don't you? We're going to like ways the U.S. and Canada are going to go to war because like we worship different.
And you don't have Kinder Surprises because you just eat everything.
No, we do now. We do now. They really? Removed the threat of like the toys that would kill people. Yeah. Apparently, they like. It's why they didn't get a Boba Fett with a missile launcher, Mark. It's because somebody like ate a missile.
I thought it was kids were just shoving the entire eggs into their gullets like snakes.
Probably, and then they couldn't dissolve the toy. They died upon pooping.
Oh, Jesus.
It wouldn't make it.
We got to move on to the news.
We do. Oh, well, you know what? Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into something probably hopefully less controversial. That's the news you can use. Mark, so the first story is kind of like I kind of expected this, but I don't know if you did, but basically Xbox with their gaming studios now with Activision, they probably have more studios than anybody under the sun now. Like 35, we talked about. It's huge. So Xbox was going to have to reorganize to basically manage all of their properties to make sure they're managed appropriately, get the right resources, they obviously have to have a schedule for all of the windows to make sure, they're all aligned. And the biggest thing, the biggest stumble they've had recently was the Redfall release, where they said we didn't put all resources against it. It's kind of in the middle of the merger. So they want to avoid that and want to make every game that come out basically have its, grand showing, has the best effort forward. So because of that, they're reorganizing. One of the big things, though, Pete Hines from Bethesda is retiring. And this might because of it, because he was not going to get promoted into one of these bigger roles.
Yeah.
And actually, ZeniMax and Bethesda is actually now going to have more oversight from someone who is just basically promoted, and that's Matt Booty. So Phil Spencer basically made an announcement about his team because he's still in charge, but he's kind of basically reassigned roles. And two of the bigger people that we know of, Matt Booty and Sarah Bond, really are kind of what we would say the leaders of Xbox now in regards to divide and conquer under Phil. And it's so funny, Mark, because Bobby Kotick they already announced he's leaving at the end of the year. He's way at the bottom of this org chart. If you looked at it, he's like he is just above like the chief of staff of gaming, which essentially is like the secretary admin assistant. So good job, Bobby. So he's gone. So that's going to be another position they will fill. I don't know how they'll organize that and if it'll be an Activision employee. I think a lot of people would hope it would be somebody outside of Activision that is in charge of a better culture. So with that, Matt Booty is now
I would
basically.
Imagine, I would imagine Xbox is going to put their own person in there. I'm going to say it's going to be someone from either an Xbox studio or Microsoft that's going to take over there. I would not assume that they would promote someone from inside Activision Blizzard King. That's going to be my guess, just because they want a culture change there. And I think Xbox is that's one of the first things you're going to just be like, okay, who's great? You over here. Thank you. And it's going to be either the higher up from another studio that really works and has a good community culture and all that kind of stuff, and they'll move someone else in that company up to the head spot, or they'll take like that second in command from one of those like really well working companies and be like, okay, here's your new studio. Like I don't think it's going to be an internal Activision promotion, but I could be wrong. I could see it from coming from both ways, but my feeling is they're going to promote from within Microsoft, Xbox, or one of their studios before they look at who's in Activision.
I think you're right. And I think what we're going to see is, instead of seeing Activision as its own separate node, kind of like Bethesda back in the day used to have like Microsoft and Bethesda, I think it's just going to roll all under Xbox, and they're going to be part of the big family, like Insomniac is at Sony. And you'll see that Activision Blizzard bubble go away. It'll fall under Matt Booty as under software for games. And then he'll probably select someone either from maybe already on his team that he's confident in, knows their leadership style, they understand Microsoft and what they expect out of Activision, and then
Yeah.
probably promote somebody within Activision as well that is probably viewed as kind of like a good person that's part of the good parts of Activision, to basically
Mm-hmm.
say you need to respect Activision, the good parts of Activision, Blizzard, things like that. So I could probably see that too. So Matt Booty is now in charge of all things games, which is kind of crazy. That's
Mm-hmm.
one guy with so many studios. So I'm guessing he's going to have a lot of really important people below him that keep him informed and up to speed. And then Sarah Bond, who, she's become, she was it was so funny because she got to be a part of the trial of Activision, which I'm sure she's like, I don't really want to do this, but hey, why not? And she is really rose up the ranks in like the last 6 years she's been there. She's going to be in charge of basically hardware and services. So that's kind of like games, hardware and services, where the two of them will work together, and then under Phil. So I think this is great. Phil has been with the company a long time. No one
Yeah.
stays forever at a company. And we know that eventually someone will take over. But it's kind of cool that we could see either Sarah or Matt probably
Mm-hmm.
take over. Although I've heard potentially maybe a marketing person like Jarrett West in this chart could also be involved. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I really hope if they're going to eventually replace Phil, that they get someone with that kind of energy and respect for gaming as a whole. If it's and whoever it is, it doesn't matter if it's a marketing person. Hopefully, it's a marketing person that also understands gaming and everything that Phil seems. I think he's going to be a hard person to replace. Um, but we've seen big companies have good replacements and we've seen big companies have bad replacements. Apple under Tim Cook. Tim Cook's definitely not another Steve Jobs, but Tim Cook was definitely the guy that they needed to understand the supply chains, understand where Apple had to go, understand the people he had to put beneath him to pitch those products and to build the things that they needed. And then we saw the complete opposite of Disney, of like, we're giving the the Bobs, the battle of the Bobs, Iger kind of like, hey, I'll give this up, but I kind of still want to be in charge in a weird clandestine kind of way. And then the replacement Bob was just kind of like, no, I'm going to do things my way and I'm not listening to you and anymore as soon as you're out the door. Like, big clash. Now Iger's back and things are still in shambles. And I really hope that doesn't happen to Xbox.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because under Phil, he has really been transparent. He's been
Yeah.
present. He has put a focus on, I would say, the things that gamers care about. I don't know. I mean, I know they had a good last quarter in regards to revenue. The hardware was down, which that doesn't surprise me because at this point, it's really about the games and the services they're on, and
Mm,
they're growing PC. People don't need a box if they own a PC. Well, so it becomes that's where the growth area is. So I think that they're good to there. And I think where right now is games were a problem where they were losing studios. Now they've got more studios they can count. Now it's grooming them to be put out those games that we really want to play. So we'll see how it goes. And I think Phil is like leaving the I think he's grooming leaders to take over for him. So wouldn't be surprised, if he decides to leave, we'll know they're in good hands either with someone that's in charge of the hardware, the software, or the games. Hopefully, so see how that goes. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but with that, Mark, so that was like kind of like the dry news, but it obviously lays into their strategy, where they're going, and where they're going is creating a new showcase, which was kind of interesting. So this isn't like their big like Xbox Direct, their big game at E3. This was not their big like 4 hour streaming. Where it just feels like, okay, that could have been 30 minutes of trailers. And so they said, okay, here's 30 minutes of trailers. And that's what they did with the Xbox partner preview. And these are essentially games that were coming out within the next 6 months. And games, a lot of these were games you already knew about. Not all these games were on Game Pass, but some were, which was kind of cool. And I always
That's
worry about
interesting
these
for
things.
Xbox.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And I don't know, Mark, is that something when you hear Xbox is going to talk about games? Is that, and maybe that's how I am, but do you always think that every game is just going to be on Game Pass when you hear them talk about a
They've
presentation?
they've really made that like stick in your mind the last couple of years. Like they've really drilled that home, especially at things like, E3 or Game Awards or whatever. Anytime they announce something, it's Game Pass, day one Game Pass, Xbox exclusive Game Pass included. Like it's drilled in so much that when it's not on Game Pass, I start to like it's either got to be a big multi-console release or it seems weird to me. Like if they're talking about like if Xbox has the partnership with, let's say, Ubisoft or something like that to show off the next Assassin's Creed game, I understand that it's not going to be on Game Pass, but they've worked and Xbox gets to announce it on their stage rather than Sony on theirs. Cool. Whatever the marketing deals behind the scene, that's neat. I understand that. But when it's something else that's not showing up on Game Pass, I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's
Yeah.
like that's basically what I've come to expect. It's either big multi-platform stuff or it's a Game Pass exclusive.
Yeah, and I'm the same boat. Xbox is really my Game Pass box, and PlayStation is my first party games. And then if it's a third party game, either one can go either place. And that's why I always hope like the big third party games will go to Game Pass, and it's like, okay, I'm good to go there. And then Nintendo, it's just it's their first party is always the games I go there, unless it's like it's exclusive from like a indie game or something like that.
Yeah.
So this was pretty short. It was a different type of presentation, 30 minutes roughly. It was about 12 games total, and like I said, it was just trailers. It was only broken up with these cards that would come up to say a little bit of something about the game, like when it's releasing, whether it was on Game Pass or not, and that was about it. Or they're like, go to Xbox Wire to learn more, and that was about it, which is kind of cool. So the games that we're getting are Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That is, I couldn't determine if that was going to Game Pass or not. I'd have to look back, but that is essentially the Yakuza series that's now been repurposed in Like a
Mm-hmm.
Dragon, because apparently the mob in Japan's their license is really expensive, so we're not going to do that anymore. But this game is kind of crazy because it's a spin-off of Like a Dragon, and it's essentially a Like a Dragon game. But Mark, they introduced this whole side story where you go to this island where trash has shown up, and you use the trash to repurpose it to rebuild this island and almost make it like a Animal Crossing place where you can have a hotel, you can build houses, you can fish, you can do all these crazy things. It doesn't make any sense, but it was just a side part of the game called Dondoko Island. I thought it was cute. It's not for
Sounds cool.
me, but
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. So that's coming out in January 26th, 2024. Dungeons of Hinterberg. This is coming to Game Pass, and this is a weird, like cell shaded game where it's an action RPG, but it's set in Germany. Look kind of
Okay.
cool. I'll
Yep.
definitely check it out because it's on Game Pass. Why not? Metal Gear Solid Delta, which is Metal Gear Solid 3. It's the new version running on Unreal Engine 5. They finally showed uh, game footage, and it looks beautiful.
Cool.
And apparently they are not
Very
re-recording any of the dialogue. So you're getting the dialogue
interesting.
from MGS3. So it's going to be essentially a direct story, but with better graphics and probably tweaked gameplay. And Kojima's name is nowhere on this game. So buyer
Wow.
beware. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Ark Survival Ascended is coming. This is essentially like an upgraded version of Ark Survival Evolved. It's a kind of an all-in game with dinosaurs and craziness. This is not the sequel with Vin Diesel.
Right.
It's something I don't play. So if you're into this game,
Yeah, that's a series that I feel like I should be into, but I haven't checked out so far. But like I have some friends that have played it and been like, it's really good. You should try it. And I'm like, yeah, I need to, and then I haven't. So maybe
yeah,
I'll jump in with this one.
yeah, and it says coming soon. That's the thing. It's like, why would you show a trailer coming soon but no date? And it just seems
Right.
like, come on, guys, show a date because then at least you
Yeah.
can get excited about it. And where's Vin Diesel? Don't tease us with Vin, and then don't show him again. Alan Wake got new gameplay. That game's already out. I've been playing it. I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about it a little bit. So I never understand why they're gonna show a game like 2 days away from showing. It's like Nintendo has an event. Don't show the game that's coming out in 3 days. Save your time for release stuff. So it's out. So there you go. It's Alan Wake. Play it if you can because it looks awesome. And I will tell you how awesome it is in a little bit. And essentially, Power Washer Simulator has a new game, and they're partnering with Thunderful, Mark. It's called Caro
Cool.
Will Not Die. It is a rogue-like game with science fiction elements. The art style's cool. Roguelike kind of kills me, but it's kind of like a brawler type of game with fast action, but it looks really cool. Still Wake to the Deep. That's kind of like that. You're in the bottom of a boat, like I guess like a cargo ship, and
Right.
it's flooding, but it's like a horror game. So it does
Okay.
nothing at all for me. I
Yep.
mean, might be really good in VR, but I don't know. I don't
Ooh,
dig those
yeah.
games where it's just a survival horror type game where you're basically can't defend yourself. It's kind of like
Mm.
yeah, it just doesn't do anything right. RoboCop Rogue City. There's a demo for this game. I've heard this game is better than it should be. Like you can shoot people in the junk, of course,
Right.
but
Okay.
it's also got like Fallout elements where it's got like RPG
Mm.
elements. You have interactions with people, but the
Okay.
actual gameplay, Mark, it's over the top. You can just throw people out buildings. I mean, it's just hardcore shooting. RoboCop. I mean, I guess it's got the spirit of a RoboCop, and that's I like it when games are like that. They're like better than they should be, which is great, especially licensed
Yeah,
games.
I had pretty low expectations for this game, to be honest. So if it's even good, that's going to be better than I expected it to be. So if it's like better than it has any right to be, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's certain games like that Evil Dead? No, Dead something. The game I played last year was Old West shooting vampires. That game
Right.
was
Right.
far better than it deserved to be, and I loved it. So this might be my like guilty pleasure game that I maybe put in this year, but if not, I'll get it for cheap
Mhm.
next year. Spirit of the North 2, that's that game with the fox, but they're in a crow. So
Okay.
they do things and are cute. So there you go. In a
I,
icy land. Manor Lords is coming to PC first, Game Pass, and it'll come to console eventually. But this is almost like one of those Civilization real time strategy with a bunch of
yeah.
people, and they build things, and they probably get cholera. Then the finals. That's the last announcement. Basically, the finals is a weird multiplayer game with it's like a game show where
Mm.
you're doing everything to rack up winnings, and it's through there. It looks really cool. The art's great, but it's just not my bag of chips. A game like
Yeah.
that's competitive, and it's supposed to have a spectator element to it, Mark. So it's like you get a bunch of people watching,
Oh, okay.
and that's really and an open beta is coming on. Actually, it's open now. That's going to be relying on do people actually stick around to play it and watch it
Yeah.
and things like that. So I don't know. Apparently, it's
Stuff.
doing well on
Yeah.
Steam though.
That's good.
So we're both excited. It's nice.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
don't know. I think I'd have to. It's one of those games that I'd have to like see and maybe participate in to tell
Yeah.
if I'm really like based on description. I'm like, it's a. I hope it finds its audience. I guess. But it could be one of those things that like you have to be participatory in order to really kind of get the hook. So
Yeah, it's not a battle royale, which is kind of nice to have a new game that's kind of doing its own
true.
thing in that type of
Yep.
lens. You don't get a lot of that's not a hero shooter, which is kind of
Hmm.
cool. So maybe that's what we need. We need more games in other areas so we can get people to have different areas they play in. Um,
Yes.
that is the weekend gaming news. So,
Woo.
folks, if there's any news stories you ever want us to touch on, let us know and we can give our 2 cents on those. But with that, Mark, we're gonna talk about games. And man, there are too many games for my brain to even cope with right now, and I bought too many of them, Mark.
Oh no, I'm not having that same problem. In terms of like I didn't buy anything other than Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So we can start on that one if you'd like, because we've
Sure.
both shared that experience. Um, and I might as well just jump right in because I am absolutely in love with this game. Wonder is the right word to put in that title. There is a sense of wonder in every single aspect of this game. It's delightful. Um, the the animation, the life that they've put into this, as just from like different animations for power ups, just from going down a warp pipe and the hat flies up and you reach out and grab it and go back down. Um, Elephant Mario needing that extra second to kind of squeeze into a warp pipe. Just there's so much there. There are hidden things in all the stages. There are, even in the overworld, there's a bunch of hidden stuff in some of them, and in others, it's fairly straightforward. Um, it's so good. I'm glad we're out of the Mushroom Kingdom. We're in the Flower Kingdom, so we've got different enemies, we've got different, like I said, power ups, different worlds, different types of world. The art style is brilliant. It goes, the normal Super Mario Brothers stuff, but then every once in a while it'll drop and everything's just shadow, or you come up to the foreground or go way in the background as just a little surprise. It doesn't overplay any kind of gimmick or anything like that. It's just they have kind of perfected this 2D Mario formula and just taken it to the next level of wonder. Is as far as I'm concerned. This is holy crap. This is magical. Um, jump in if you want to agree or disagree.
No, I agree. I am not a huge, 2D Mario fan. A lot of people have affinity for, 3 or, World as, their favorite, and I'm like, I played them, I'm like, I get it if that's kinda, where your nostalgia lies. I was a Mario 2 guy because that was like, "Hey, I loved Mario 1," but, man, they added throwing things, they added all those different things I felt like was just, the beginning of, how do you expand Mario, and that's 3 just took it another level, and 3 and World always felt like very similar kind of, but one was
Mm,
just iterative and better. But yeah, where the new games didn't really do anything for me. I don't know if I didn't like how, and they've even talked about this. They've said Wonder they designed the actual control and physics and mechanics around World versus
mm, yeah.
new, which I always felt like you kind of were less in control. Like wouldn't stop right away. Your jumping was a little bit less. It was a little more chaotic. In those type of games, I
Mm,
want to be precise control. I don't want to feel like I'm skidding when I'm
yeah.
supposed to be stopping. So I feel like this one is definitely more of that. You've got a huge cast of characters you can choose. They all play the same, but they did add Nabbit and Yoshi for kids so they can play it and they don't die and have fun, which is great. I didn't play any co-op. I heard the co-op's still a little bit funky, so it's basically they definitely said play it single first and then play for
Yeah.
fun, but you're never gonna
Yeah.
go through this game all the way through co-op because it's probably gonna drive you nuts because you
Yep.
have to be. This game is hard. And
It's
I will
tough.
say that,
Yeah.
and they tell you how difficult it is based on the number of what is it? They have little
Stars.
stars. So
Yeah.
I tried a 4 level of
Number and
difficulty.
color. I think it's
Okay.
they change color as they go to different severities. Um, Yeah, sorry.
Well, I played one of the 4. It was the
Mhm.
timing one. I don't know if you played it. It was called what's it
Yeah.
called? Tap, tap, tap? Is that what
Yeah.
it's called? Where it's like it disappears, and you have to time it just right, and it gets faster. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, I gotta stop this
Yeah.
because Todd just had enough. I'm not,
Yep.
I'm not like the Uber guy that 100%s everything in a Mario game. I have to know my limits and just give up on that extra coin because I'm gonna die getting it every time. So I
Mhm.
have limits, but I think they've done a great job of, like you said, playing around with the Wonder Flower, which it mixes everything up. You only have one real um, alternative, unless they add it in, and I haven't seen it yet. Like the elephant is truly like your alter ego,
Mhm.
and that is something you can swap out with a fire flower, a regular growth mushroom, and I like
There's the
what they
drill
do,
head
Mark.
as well.
Oh, the drill, I haven't got that yet, so that's gonna
Yeah,
be
it's
coming
a
up
good
for
one.
me.
Yeah.
The fun part about that is, they when you're little Mario, you can still use your abilities, which I love. I always hated the fact that if you're little, you're basically screwed. It's like, okay, it's like, Ghosts and Goblins where you're just left in your underwear. That's
Yeah.
so I like the fact that you do get to use abilities,
Yeah. And
and that
you have the bonus abilities too. So they're just
yeah, the
attached at the
badges
start of the stage, the badges. Yeah. So there's like a timed triple jump or a hat float, I think is one of the first ones you
or
get.
the
But
wall jump.
it's one
Yeah,
that just, yeah, holds on. So the wall
bubble,
jump
which
one's
yeah,
interesting. Um, oh, that's the bubble flower is the other power up that they've introduced in this. Um, but the wall jump one's interesting because you can do like just the normal wall jump where you jump to the
yeah,
other wall. This one allows you to do kind of a straight up wall jump,
yep,
which is great for some stages, and in other stages sucks because you
exactly. If you're
try to
going
do a
vertical,
bounce.
yeah, or the hat
Don't.
you want if you're gonna traverse, and you
Yeah.
wanna, just basically, the other one that I haven't seen yet is, like, essentially, a grapple hook.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't seen that yet in the game. They showed it in the trailer, and that looks really cool. I'm like, "Oh, why wouldn't I just
Yeah.
always want a grapple hook?" Because the grapple hook's the best.
I
Yeah,
love
there's also
the Superman power jump, I call it, is where you like
ah,
hold down and
mhm,
power up your jump and then kind of like shoot up in the
ah,
air like you're ready to fly, but eventually gravity kind of grabs you back. But it is quite the jump and really, really helps for some like, I wonder what's up there. Or like I can barely reach that coin. I really need to get a running. This one's just like, nah, I'll just super jump at it. It's great.
yeah,
So
and
good.
then they added, there's the one power up, which basically it gives you kind of like the, mulligan, where you fall, you don't land
Yeah,
it, and put you back up.
it's a
There's
great one.
the, what is it, the standee thing? I haven't used that yet.
Yeah, so that one's really cool
Is that
for
for
so
multiplayer?
um well, there's an online component of this game as well that if you don't even want to play like with people, if you turn the online on, you'll see kind of ghosts while you're going through the
Yeah.
stage and you can kind of play at the same time as people and that has a couple of benefits. The first of which is if you die, if you catch up to one of the other people that are playing or one of these standees, you can actually get brought back without losing a life. You have like
Oh,
5
okay.
seconds as a ghost to run around the stage. Uh, the other thing that the standees are great for, and I've used these, I've placed a few of these myself, is if there's a stage where stuff's hidden. So sometimes they're hidden by clouds, or sometimes you have to punch in a certain place for a platform to come up. You can actually, once you figure out where it is, punch that platform, stand on it, press down and X, you drop your own standee, and then the next person knows where to punch.
It's like the Elden Ring, you leave a note.
Exactly.
Ah,
It's
nice, nice.
great. It is so good. And there's been a few stages that I've figured out because of those standees, or I figured out on my own. I was like, I'll leave a standee here. You need to know where the next platform is so you don't waste your time. And there's no timer in this, but sometimes it gets frustrating anyway. Um, so I've left a couple of standees that, and like some people just leave them all over the place, and it's just like,
Ah,
yeah, why'd you leave a standee there? Who cares? But whatever.
Mark,
That
it's
it's fun to
kids.
do
They'll be
if you want
kids.
to. That's
There'll
it,
be kids
right?
that
And
like
it's
chaos.
no harm. You can just run
No.
through them, and it's fine. Um, and it's
And they
it's
really want
fun
you
to
to play
get like to
co-op
see which one. Yeah, well,
or
and so the
online because
co-op.
there's like little points that says play
Oh yeah,
online. Yeah.
yeah, and that's not like playing online. Like you're not actually playing with people. but that is a possibility in this. You can play 2-player per console online. So if you and I were to play, you and Logan, Loren and I, all 4 of us could play online, but you can't do like 3 people on one console and then me. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
And then
do
you got one
that
person that's got
weird
the
mix.
crown who essentially that's what I've heard the frustrating part is like the person, like you never want your kid to have the crown because apparently
No.
they'll just go out, they'll just go away, and it's like, what are you doing? Come back. Like when I used to play like the Mario games or Lego with Logan, I'm like, why did I have a child?
Yeah.
You're making my
Yeah.
life miserable. Or there's no throwing characters anymore.
No
So you're
throwing,
not
no
like
pickup.
sabotaging.
And you
No
can't
jumping on each other's
sabotage,
head,
which is
right?
nice. You can't
Yeah.
jump on each other's heads to
No.
reach a higher platform. The other person's essentially invisible to you on the screen, which is a good thing and a bad thing because sometimes those carries were what got you through a stage. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like it is tough, especially if you want to 100% everything. I'm sure if you were just playing for the wonder and the fun of playing through and you got the minimal amount of seeds to get through to the next world and you're just running through it, that's going to be where you want to do multiplayer, you want to do co-op, you want to just have some fun and just play it. If you're playing like I'm playing and trying to get every single secret and every single seed and every single little crevice kind of thing, do not play co-op in any way. It's the screen's just not big enough or something. There was constantly, if the stage is moving at any pace whatsoever, you guys have to be as in sync as you can possibly be. There's no wiggle room. There's no error. As soon as the person with the crown is off the stage, the other person is ghosted and coming back. It's really tough, really frustrating. Even Loren and I playing, we played a few stages and then we got to one of those stages that it's like the stage moves or something's quickly happening and you have to be ready to jump when the disappearing platforms, like you said. You get to those stages and it's like you guys have to just be like the most well-oiled machine, or someone's getting pissed off. And then the next person, it'll be like, the crown will pass and it's like, oh, okay, I guess you're leading us now. And then it's just, it's a test.
Yeah, there's one level that reminded me of Ori, the last Ori game. It was the level with the what do they call them? The oxen, whatever they're called, where you hit the Wonder Flower and they start running, and essentially you're riding their back. Yeah. And there's also the level is flooding. So I wanted to kill someone. I'm not a nice guy when Todd's around. I'm a little ball of stress, Mark. And that was like, I couldn't imagine doing that with 2 people because your multiple lives would be gone in a second. You're like, oh crap, we got to do that again. Yep. So, but it is difficult, and that's where it's kind of fun. But you could stick to the easier levels. You can buy things, which is kind of fun. So it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm so, I'm limited on resources. The badges make it cool on ways to use to supplement your abilities. You have to be smart in how you use them. Yeah. So, but I believe though, if you're playing co-op, you don't each get to choose different badges. You all have to use the same badge, which
correct.
Yeah. So, got to compromise.
Yeah.
So,
single player game first, co-op game second. I think still fun as long as you're not taking it too seriously in co-op. But one of the best like Super Mario Brothers experiences in a while.
Yeah, I'd agree. Player. I think they added so much. Like people said, what could they do after Mario Maker 2? Well, I'm like, completely add new abilities, all these extra things that you just can't make yourself. It's, you're basically creating new things versus old favorites, which I think is a great move. And this is going to be a huge game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I didn't have high expectations for it simply because Super Mario RPG is coming out so quickly afterwards in just a couple of weeks that I really, when it was like 2 Mario games back to back, it was like, oh man, are they just setting Wonder up to be like, this is fun. I don't know. We were playing around. We let a couple of interns build a Mario game and here's RPG. Cool. Like I expected it to be that of just like, I don't
Yeah.
know, we sharded this one out before the holidays just to have something, and here it is. And then RPG, it's a remake. Cool, everyone pay attention. But it's like, this is the best Mario's been in a while. Why are you promoting anything else with his name on it this year?
Yeah. Well,
Save
did they really
RPG.
need? I mean, I guess they don't have the Pokemon game in November, so they needed something.
I guess. I guess.
Mm,
But why not save this? Like, there
yeah.
was no reason to drop it when it dropped.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, and
I'm
I
happy
think
I'm
a lot of
playing
people
it
thought,
now, but
yeah,
like this could have been the big holiday release for November, and save RPG, or I don't know. It's confusing me because I didn't expect it to be this good based on release time and what else they announced at the, like, coming in weeks later, like a month later. It's just like, I don't know, but it's amazing. So if you've been holding off for that same reason, don't worry about it.
yeah, and I think we all expected something different from the next Mario game that was going to come out because we had the movie. We thought we're going to get a 3D movie or 3D game,
Mm-hmm.
and we got something where they went back to the 2D well, which I think a lot of people are saying that this is a pretty tough game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they added the elements of the characters you can play that make it pretty much it's the Funky Kong of the
Yeah.
Mario games. Yeah, those
Yeah.
characters will
Yeah.
be
You have
added. By
the
the way,
flutter jump with Yoshi's to make it a tiny bit easier. And then
yeah,
Nabbit just can't be touched.
when did Nabbit become a thing? Was Nabbit like one of the Koopa kids? I don't know.
Nabbit was that new Super Mario Brothers, wasn't it?
Was
When he
it?
was
Okay.
introduced? Or they were
Yeah,
introduced? I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah.
Seems like they're trying to make him a thing.
Hmm.
Stop making
Yeah.
fetch happen. Stop making Nabbit happen.
It's good. Hey, Finn beat one of the stages as Nabbit. I was
Oh, okay.
so happy he got to the end. He threw up his hands in celebration. It was a
Oh,
great,
okay.
great
He
time.
didn't go
He was
after
getting
Yoshi.
frustrated. Well,
Didn't go
he
Yoshi.
wanted to do
Oh.
Mario at first, and then he wanted to try Luigi, and he wanted to try. He basically went through every single character, got a little bit further with Yoshi thanks
Sure.
to the flutter jump, but like
Yeah.
Nabbit was just, you can't
He's
touch
cooking.
me, right?
Yeah.
That was it. He got to the end of the stage. He hit the flagpole, and the celebration went up, and we both went crazy, and he went crazy, and it was like, oh, that's why Nabbit exists.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's a tank.
All right. Now, I wish there was a Nabbit mode where he could play as the character he wanted to play as, rather like he was just like, I want to be
You
Mario
can
again.
ride
It's like,
Yoshi
well,
though, can't you? So he
no,
could be Yoshi and he could
maybe.
ride on
Can
Mario.
you do that? I didn't try that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You can try that.
I'll
See if
try
he
that.
likes it.
I'll
He
try
can
that
be
out.
Yoshi
Yeah.
and then he can carry Mario. Dad, you can carry me, son.
There you go. I'll try. I'll give that a shot. I'll report back.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about one of your games? Because you have
Sure.
2 more, and I only have one other thing to talk about.
Sure, yeah. So I'll talk about Spider-Man 2. So I'll be honest, because there are so many games right now, I've really just dipped my toe in each one of these. And Spider-Man 2 is amazing. I don't know what else to say. In my time, the game opens. It's essentially a direct sequel to Miles Morales. This is a full game. You can play both Spider-Man and Miles. You're dealing with the story beats of the past 2 games and where we're at. You get a lot of great interactions with both characters. They have introduced web wings in this game. Each character can use them, and it is awesome. And it is really cool. It makes me think, wow, somebody can really make a Superman game. And it might be Insomniac, but they don't have that DC license. So, but it's great. And the costumes are amazing. I really think they're cool. Each character gets their own costumes. You can power up. You have your own skill tree once again. And I was wondering how they would do that in a way that wasn't driving you nuts, because it's like, okay, well, who do I save my points for? And it's kind of
Right.
like divide and conquer, which is nice
Yeah.
because you can then divide each of them up equally. And then it's almost like it's going to be overkill because it's going to be like the amount of style you can add and the way you use your weapons and your power-ups and abilities is going to be a lot of fun. And I think they really nailed. Someone said like the Spider-Man games are now like the Arkham games. Probably never
Yeah.
going to get another Arkham game. The combat is amazing. The flexibility and creativity in your combat is awesome. I've still yet to use any fast travel in the game, even though the game is much bigger, because it's just fun to just traverse. You've got like these wind whales throughout the city, Mark, where basically if you hit it just right, you can fly the whole stinking level. They've got like these it reminds me of Superman 64, where you've got like the rings, and they have that
Right.
in there
Yeah.
too, but it's like the fast mode. It's amazing.
Oh,
It's
cool.
so good. The game opens up with this, I mean, it's the very beginning of the game, so it won't be spoiled. A Sandman battle. So that's like your big
Yeah.
Uncharted type of battle, opening sequence. It's really amazing. And then where they are going with Craven is going to be really cool. I I haven't gotten to the part with Venom's involved yet, but we know that's coming. So they've shown it. It's part of the box. You can buy it
Yeah.
with. But I'm excited for it, and I really, people said this is one of the best iterations they've ever done of Venom. So I appreciate that too. I think they do the storytelling fantastically.
Nice.
And there is multiple modes. This is a PS5 only game, but they have done like 3 different modes you can choose. Like a really, like you can do like 100 frames per second. They can't exactly get to 120, but they have a 100 frame mode, which is pretty cool. They have like a all balls to the wall visuals. They made this game at 30, but they essentially would give you all visuals you want. They do a 40 mode, a 40 FPS mode with a little bit more bells and whistles. And then if you have a TV that supports VRR with like a HDMI 2.1, it goes up even from there to almost, I think it's right at 60 with significantly ray tracing, things like that. So I think
Cool.
I'm glad they're giving me like, hey, do you care about how the game looks? Then you get like almost 120 frames per second. If you want it to look good, but with some bells and whistles, there's multiple frames. And when I look at it, I'm like, I'm playing so fast anyways. Quite honestly,
Yeah.
am I really noticing like my reflection in a puddle across in Manhattan? No, I'm not. So, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like when they talk about racing games and they're like, each blade of grass has a single drop of dew on it that has ray tracing effects that you can see each individual car reflected in that drop of dew. And it's just like in the game, you're just zipping through at like,
If you
200
notice
miles
that,
an
you have
hour. And you're just
crashed.
like, what happened? Why did you spend 30 minutes talking about that at E3? But no, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. If I mean, I know you are not on the PS5 bandwagon, but when you do,
Yet.
play
Yeah.
Miles, and then
Yeah.
definitely play Spider-Man. This is great. I mean, this is Insomniac's really, I believe. No, they did Ratchet and Clank, but I mean, they are the masters of Sony at this point. They've put out 3 games this generation. That's amazing. I mean, it really is, with
Yeah.
Miles, then Ratchet, and then this game, and they're also putting out
Yeah.
Wolverine next. I mean, I don't know anybody who has the quality and the rapidity of releases that they do, and I wish
Yeah.
we could figure out what their secret sauce is.
Yeah, I'm sure any of the people at Xbox are just trying to figure out that secret sauce. It's
Exactly. Yeah.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's awesome. Definitely pick it up. I ended up getting this. Um, I bought it. I returned the collector's edition because that Venom statue they've got is 19 inches big. It's huge. It's a lot of Venom, Mark. Will
That's a
not
lot of
fit in
venom.
my glass case. So like that was my determinant. I'm like, it's not going to fit in there. So I guess if I leave it out,
I've
the cats will chew it to pieces, and you don't want your
yeah,
cat chewing your Venom.
I've seen a few people and it's unwieldy how big this thing is. Like it's sitting on desks or like kind of fit into corners of entertainment units and stuff. It's just
It's taller than the PlayStation 5.
yeah, yeah, it's a wildly big. It's an impressive statue.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really
great.
really amazing. Um, but yeah, I think they could have gone a little smaller with it or something because I've seen a few people have like, this is awkwardly big for my desk.
Yeah.
How long is it going to stay there? Um, but anyway,
Yeah.
game
So,
looks amazing.
Mark, tell me how those Fort Nightmares are.
The Fortnite are underwhelming this year a little
Oh,
bit in my opinion. It's the tie-ins. We got Michael Myers, we got Jack Skellington, and we got Alan Wake in the game. They did a remake recap of Alan Wake as a
which
special
I
mode.
played, Mark, as Alan Wake in the game. I actually got into
Awesome,
Fortnite,
awesome.
and I got
Whatever
the
gets
Alan
you in,
Wake
that's great.
skin.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow, they really got you in and got you to
you
spend
get
some
me.
V-Bucks. Look at that.
No, it was free. I don't know how
Okay,
I got
oh,
it. I got it for free.
Okay. I
I don't know. Logan might have
Sure.
earned some back in the day.
Oh,
I have a
maybe.
shared
Okay.
account
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Logan. That's the problem because he was a kid, and I'm
right.
like, well, how do I get to my account? And I don't know. So I'm just going to be
Yeah.
my son.
Okay.
Apparently, hopefully, it
Yeah.
was good to people online.
They used to give away V-Bucks so much more like readily. They
Yeah,
like early save the world mode. If you logged in every day,
yeah.
didn't do a thing, just logged in, um, you just get V-Bucks every week or a couple of times a week, and it'd be like a little bit here, a little bit there, and then every once in a while, it'd be like, here's 1,000 V-Bucks, here's 500 V-Bucks, and it was like, okay, I log in every day. I've earned a ton of you but that's kind of gone away. But that's great. I'm glad you got in. You tried it a bit, and that's kind of
I played
that's
the one
fun.
mode that is kind of like PvE mode. Scary
Oh,
like
like the
crystalline
the horde
creatures are
rush kind
coming
of thing.
after
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, so that was kind of fun.
yeah.
There were some cool weapons too, like a pumpkin launcher. So I wish I had gotten those, but I still suck at the game. So I'm like, I'll bounce in when they do something fun. But then, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Like they're fun modes, that kind of stuff. But they just don't seem to be doing as much in the game for Fortnitemares. Like in the past, there'd be like jump scare zombies that would come out of everything, or everything would be decorated. This time, it's like there might be a jack-o'-lantern here and there, but it's pretty sparse. There's not a ton going on to really celebrate. All the skins are back. It's great if you want to get some Halloweeny type skins. I got Jack Skellington. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I couldn't get that one fast enough. As soon as it hit the shop, I was like, give me this. Thank you very much. I'm out for this season. So I've kind of finished up this season. The thing I'm excited about, and I've talked to a couple of friends that I used to play Fortnite with that might be coming back on November 3rd. So this coming Friday, the season ends, which means November probably 3rd or 4th or 5th or something, whenever they time it. Who knows how long the downtime is? They are bringing back the original Fortnite map. It
oh wow,
sounds like it's a mini season. They're bringing back the original map, and it's not just like POIs dropped on the new map. It is the original map. Um, and it sounds like they're going through each week is going to essentially cover a chapter of the old game. And so they're going to be changing some of the POIs because each chapter would change, some of the things on the map, and the things would, change and grow and do whatever. Um, there's going to be remixes of old skins. I've seen a couple of them so far that, I have the originals, and now I'm gonna get those remixes. And it sounds like over the next, like I think 5 or 6 weeks, it's going to be a map per week or a chapter per week and some pretty crazy throwbacks. So I'm very excited. I've been playing Fortnite for a very, very long time, and I'm excited to see some of those POIs again. I've seen the first map kind of leak, and it's like, oh my goodness, I remember this place. Oh man, they're bringing that back. Oh man, I can't wait to see this. It's going to be so cool. Apparently, so there were some things before no build mode, before zero build. Obviously, they'd have some high up, some mountains or some cliffs or something that you'd have to build to get up. Zero build mode, how are you going to do that? Apparently, they've just placed zip lines, so you can easily
pretty cool.
just zip right to the top of a cliff and duke it out from there. So I'm very excited. I did duck in this morning for the first time in a few days. I got what will probably be my last victory royale before work this morning of this season, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing the old map. So the only question I have for anyone listening that used to play Fortnite or that still does play Fortnite is, where are we dropping? I cannot wait.
It's
So if you
so
play,
crazy that
hit me up.
a game that people, it's like you're nostalgic. It's like World of Warcraft brought back like their old game, classic is what they're calling it.
Yeah,
They brought that
yeah,
back. So it's kind of fun that like games can like people are nostalgic for what it used to be,
yeah.
and the fact that they can bring it back, and that's pretty awesome. Mark, to your point on Fortnite, I did do the Alan Wake I guess, flashback. Basically, it's a retelling of Alan Wake through Fortnite engine, which was very cool. I liked that because it was a good way for me to get up to speed because it's been since the 360 since I played Alan Wake, and I hope they do more things like that because it was
Yeah.
really cool. And I was looking at, like, for me though as a newbie, there's so much in Fortnite when you look at like their menus and they like.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
like Las
The
Vegas.
new
I'm like,
menu's crazy.
it's like I don't know what to look at, but I just noticed there was like epic created areas. I'm like, I wish they would curate it a little bit better to say like these are the official. I know they try to like put them in there so you're checking out everything, but
Yeah.
for me, I'm glad I noticed that because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, let me give that a try. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was really
that's
cool.
I stick to a lot of that. My nephew loves just trying different maps. He's
Mhm.
always like, "Oh, let's try this one. Let's try that
Yeah,
one." And sometimes they're great, and other times it's like, "Dude, this sucks. We got to bail."
yeah.
But like that he just loves trying that stuff out, right? And he loves like Roblox and that kind
Hmm.
of build your own world, try some stupid shit kind of thing. But I'm kind of more like you. I'm like, give me something that's like curated that I know is going to be good, that I know is not going to waste my time, and we'll go from there. So, but it's good that there's the options. It's so flexible. So there's something for everyone.
Very cool. And that leads me into the last game I was playing this weekend, Alan Wake 2, playing on my PC. And that game is beautiful. It pushes PCs, though, by all means. And I was looking at what it recommended, and basically, I just is NVIDIA is great, just like optimize, click, awesome. You're telling me you know better than I do, NVIDIA. Let's play. And the DLSS 3.5 update, which includes, really does a good job of frame generation, getting extra frames, beautiful effects, ray tracing, things like that. So it's a beautiful looking game. And Alan Wake, if anybody knows the story, it's essentially like a Stephen King style game where you're an author, you have a break with reality. You have basically an alter ego, Mr. Scratch. You're essentially trying to save your spouse, significant other. I can't remember if they're married or not, but essentially she goes missing. He goes looking for her. There's the it's like very much like a Stephen King with pages of a book. You have to reclaim it, and the cool gaming mechanic is the flashlight that you aim on your enemies that would basically disperse the negative effect, and then you could use your weapon to kill them. And then you had to look for Duracell batteries because they had a license with Duracell, which I thought was hilarious that you would find those and you add them to your weapon. In a very funky game, very, very, I think they're Finnish. That's what Remedy is from. They're from Finland. So they're a little bit weird at times, and you can see it. Their actors are all like, and part of their creatives are the actors too. So sometimes they slip in instead of having an American accent because you're up in the Northwest. They definitely it's very weird at times. It's like okay, and it's like it's almost like Twin Peaks or in their like weirdness with the dark edge, which I like. So this game, it's essentially the sequel to Alan Wake, but you start off as a new character named Saga, and you're basically the POV character who doesn't really know anything about Alan Wake. So it's kind of leading you back into this world, which I appreciated quite a bit. She's an FBI investigator. Your partner is Sam Lake, who is the guy who played Max Payne. You've seen his model. He looks kind of
Hmm.
funky. He's one of the creatives there. I love the fact that he's there, but he's over hammy in his acting and things like that. But you're basically investigating a murder. That's why you're brought up there to the town. And they do a cool thing, Mark, where it's like a FBI investigation. You're using all of your techniques. And if you've ever heard of the Mind Palace that the FBI uses, is essentially you create a space in your brain, in your mind, that you're establishing the crime scene and all of its the evidence and things like that with your red thread going thing to thing. So you do that in real time, and then you also do profiling, which is pretty cool, of the killer and all the things. And your character Saga, she essentially has abilities that you don't have. So she essentially can intuit things that you're just going to accept. Like she knows that a character is actually hiding a piece of evidence. I don't know how she
Mm.
knew it, but she does. So you know she's got a little bit more on the ball, and it's kind of cool because then it leads you to go and further investigate and things like that. I'm at the very early parts of the actual the beginning is really just like a point and click adventure kind of feel. It's beautiful, and Sean Ashmore's in this game because he was
Right.
in Quantum Break. He's in it. He plays a sheriff, and you get started getting into the combat. It's very much using the same type of combat, but man, they have ratcheted up, and it's far scarier than the first Alan Wake. It definitely is creepier too, and I appreciate that. But I'm so early on, and I need to figure out getting my arms around how I'm going to approach this, and I have to be a little more careful. So it's really blending a lot of the more tense moments of Resident Evil, but with I think a better narrative, and it's not goofy and over the top, except for some goofy things they put in there. But I really enjoy it. I think it's a really cool game. So if you're looking for a scary game, and it's doing very well, so I'm very happy with it. I have to figure out though. I'm torn. I don't know which game to play next.
Oh yeah, that's
So
always the kicker.
yeah, and at least Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I feel like I can play a level. Spider-Man though, you're going to
Yeah.
get into the narrative, and you have all those side missions, and there's a crime, you get pulled away, and then Alan Wake, I'm like, once I'm in, I'm in. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Super Mario Brothers, good palate cleanser, I think.
Yeah,
For those
definitely.
two games, you just play one level of something goofy and light, and then move on to the story of the other two.
Yeah, definitely. Well, very good. Okay, so that's what we've been playing, but now we're going to play a fun game of choosing the scary video game characters of Mount Rushmore. So, if you don't live in the United States, Mount Rushmore is for presidents. They're iconic. North Dakota or South Dakota. There you go. And we've done this on Secret Friends Unite, where we pick like 4 characters, 4 video game comic book villains or things like that. So we're picking scary video game characters. And Mark, obviously you can choose your own, or we could come up with our all together. It's really open in the air. So we'll put these out there, and maybe we'll just collaborate, and we kind of come to a concurrence, and we say this will be co-op modes.
I like that. Yeah, kind of. We get 2 each, right? So that's kind of good.
Well,
but I mean, I think I can do 4. If
4
we want
each,
to combine
and then
and see,
we'll figure out,
some sort of something.
2 each, or I
So
like yours better than mine.
yeah. So you're thinking for these. I want to get where your head's at before I start going with mine. Are you thinking specifically it has to be like scary characters, or it's like, because my first thought is like a Dry Bones, the Koopa
Spooky and
Dry
scary. I mean,
Bones
it
kind
doesn't
of
have to be
thing. I think that's
horrific. Like, oh my god,
right.
it's what is it? Pyramid Head. No, it can be
Right.
spooky. We're talking just spooky and scary.
And
To me, I appreciate both.
that was going to be my second choice, was actually going to be Pyramid Head. So it beat me to that one. But like, I think when I think of one of my first kind of like spooky encounters in video games, it was probably Dry Bones, because you squish those things in the first time they pop up, and you think it's just like a regular Koopa. It's like, oh cool, it's a skeleton Koopa, and then it comes back to life, and you're like, oh shoot, these things are invincible. Essentially, you can slow them down, but you can't stop them. So I always loved Dry Bones for that. And I know we've seen Dry Bowser, and you could pick the ghosts or the boos or whatever, but like for me, it's Dry Bones, I think is deserving to be up there.
So I'm gonna do something really dumb, Mark. I'm gonna say the
Okay.
bat from Castlevania, because that damn thing, it comes in when you're at a jump, it hits you. You hate it. It's
Mhm.
scary. It's probably
Yep.
a vampire. You don't know because he hasn't transformed yet. So that's gonna be one of mine. The vampire bat from Castlevania.
I like it. I like it. Like I said, my next one, I think I was trying to pick between Pyramid Head and Slender Man, go real
Ooh.
deep with the Slender Man kind of thing. Something about Pyramid Head, man. I think I gotta go with that one. As like a legit scary character for my second
Oh
choice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So creepy. I mean, I think of the same thing. I think of Pyramid Head, and what goes with Pyramid Head, like one of those weird undead nurses from Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're
That one
kind of
popped into my
sexy,
head
but
too.
they're
It says,
very scary. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm going to stick with Pyramid Head for my second.
Okay, very good. I
Yeah.
like that. I'm gonna go with, and this is kind of generic too, the Resident Evil zombie. And I don't know if it's the first one you encounter in the first
Great
Resident
choice.
Evil, but I mean, so iconic. Or even, you know what? I'm gonna change it. The Resident Evil dogs that jump out. Talk about a
Ooh.
scary as crap moment.
Okay. All right.
So I've got like an animal thing going on here, but you know what? I'll take it.
I like that. That's a good choice because I was thinking about zombie and I was trying to go like Mr. X Nemesis. Do I do? But I was thinking kind of generic zombie. But I like the dog because that's jump scare legit. The first one that comes through the window behind you, just big bag of nope. I'm gonna go with something newer and something that's in the zeitgeist right now. I'm gonna go with Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm gonna go with
Oh,
the animatronic creepy bear, Freddy,
Freddy Fazbear,
Fazbear.
Fazbear, I think. Yeah.
Let's go. Newer but still deserving, I think.
Do you see how much of that money that movie made, Mark? $80 million in North America.
Okay.
And it's on Paramount Plus as well. So the fact that
Oh
even
wow,
it's streaming, it made that much and like made
that's
$130 million
pretty
like
impressive.
worldwide.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not getting like rave reviews. I've seen a few
No.
people like that I know posting about it. Be like, I really enjoyed that, or I thought that was a good time. But like critic reviews, it's not been fantastic.
This I don't even know what his name is, but I played this game. It's a really cult game on the PlayStation. It is called Clock Tower, and I don't know if you remember the villain. He's this character with big scissors, Mark, and he's just chasing you around. And the noise that
Mm,
accompanies it, it's horrific, and it looks stupid as hell. And the game is not good, but oh man, it was so creepy at a time where. So I have to look up his name. It was I think it's Scissor Man, maybe, but it's from a
mm.
game called Clock Tower. And there's like 3 Clock Tower games, which is crazy. So I know that one's going to be like, I'm probably the only guy that knows that, but probably Ryan Turford as well. But yeah, he's got this weird little scissors. His name is Scissor Man is actually his name,
Scissor
but
Man.
there are
Okay.
multiple characters. There's the Scissor Twins and Bobby Burrows, Scissor Guy. So
All
Scissor
right.
Man.
I like it. Trying to think. And I'm tempted to say like the booze from Mario, but I don't want to double up on Mario. I want to do something different here. Um, what's her name? SAX, Metroid Fusion, the parasite that basically turns into the best version of Samus.
Oh, I
SAX.
thought you were gonna. I thought you were thinking of like Metroid Samus Returns, the those creatures that would chase you down,
Oh
and you
right,
had
right.
like
Well, I
one
mean,
moment.
yeah,
Those
and
things were creepy as hell. Yeah,
very similar things. But the SAX was just like you never knew when it was going to show up. It was like, and you couldn't defeat it. Like at least with the things in the newer game, like you could defeat
yeah,
those. You know, like that was part of the game is you had to defeat those things. This
yeah.
thing you just straight up couldn't. Like it was just that instant death. So I'm gonna go with that one. I think.
Okay.
Um, I was gonna the other one I was trying to think of was maybe the Big Daddy Little Sister combo.
Yeah, that was so creepy because Big
BioShock.
Daddy,
Mm,
he's one bad customer,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's scary and also tough to beat. I mean, oh boy, yeah.
yeah. Oh shoot! I'm just like I'm just keeping on going. The
You
redead
got to
from
settle on it, Mark. You can do as many.
Zelda.
You
I
can say
know.
as many as you want. You
No,
gotta.
I'm gonna stick with SA, but the redead from Zelda just because of the sound
Mm.
that screeching when they reach to grab you. But no, I'm gonna stick with SAX. That'll round out my 4.
SA-X because sax just
Yep.
brings up saxophone. So there's some art there for sax too. Deviant art probably shouldn't look there.
Nope. Never.
First mistake, rookie mistake, Todd. Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, and this is not. I don't know. This is older than I probably think it is now, and that's the video game Fear, which remember it was big on like the
Oh yeah.
360,
Yep.
where it was like paranormal first person shooter. Love that series. F.E.E. A.R. Some it was the federal examination
That was
unit
some
or
sort of
something.
acronym,
Gotta
yeah.
love those names. But Alma, the little girl who you're in a shoot 'em up level, everything's going. All of a sudden, this creepy girl shows up. I'm like, "What are you? Why are you so freaky? Why do you want to kill
Yeah.
me?" Ah, yeah,
Yep. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So I'm going to Alma.
Nice.
So
Alma.
is
Okay.
that it? Have we gone through all our?
I think so. That we've had our four. So can we reach a consensus? I love your zombie dog. 100% making it in there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And I like. Let's see. So give me yours again, just to make sure I've got them.
Said Pyramid Head, Freddy, SAX, and Dry Bones.
Okay, so I'm gonna choose your Pyramid Head. I
Okay.
will remove one off my list.
All right. I like it. I like it.
So we got Resident Evil
So
Dogs. We got
yep.
Pyramid Head. So we got two.
Hmm.
So what do we got left? I got my deep cuts of Elma and Scissor Man, and the My Vampire Bat and Castlevania. That's what I got left.
See, and I'm such a big Castlevania fan, and I haven't played the other two games, and I want to give it to the Bat. I want to give it to something from Castlevania. So I am 100% good putting that one on there.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I will also 100% trust your decision. If you want to veto the Bat and place one of the other ones, I will trust you that it's creepier than the Bat. So I'm putting that one. I'm choosing the Bat, but I trust your veto if you need to veto this.
Okay. I'll veto it, Mark, and put on Freddy.
Okay. All right.
Unless
But wait,
that was
hold
going
on.
to
No,
be.
Freddy was one of mine.
Oh, I thought that we were okay.
No, like replace it. I mean, you could replace it with one of yours if you want to throw Freddy in there or whatever you want to do.
So I will replace the Vampire Bat. I'm putting Alma in. I need a scary girl.
Okay. All right. Um, so it's down. You get the choice here: Freddy or Dry Bones. I think. Would that be the choice? The choices you're left with?
So who do we have left? So we've got Resident Evil Dogs. We've got Pyramid Head.
Get them on there. Yep.
We've got Freddy.
Yep.
So we got one left. So can we come to? So do we need a spooky rather than a scary? I think we do. I think we do.
Okay.
So I'm going with Dry Bones.
But yeah. Okay. All right.
I
I like
think
that.
so. I mean,
I like
you
that.
cool
I
with
think
that?
that's a good mix of like new, old, spooky, straight up scary, terrifying. Like I think we've got a pretty good mix there.
Okay. So
Zombie, I
let's
believe in.
recount that. So we've got Freddy Fazbear as President Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy. I see what you did there. I like it.
Freddy Teddy. Teddy Bear. Yeah, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
We've got the Resident Evil dogs, the zombie dogs. Wow, we got a teddy bear, we got a dog. Oh my goodness. We got dry bones, kind of a dead turtle, so kind
Turtle.
of a turtle,
Dead
zombie
turtle.
turtle. Yeah,
100%.
skeleton turtle. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
dry bones. And then
And
last,
then
we've got
Alma.
Pyramid Head,
I thought
which
Alma was on there. Wasn't she on there?
I thought we went with Pyramid Head.
No, I think we're going with Alma, aren't we? Or
Oh,
if
did
you want to
we?
do Pyramid Head.
No, I boycotted Vampire Bat with Alma, didn't I?
Right. Okay. All right.
So what replaced? Okay, so did we miss one?
No, it was.
Okay.
I'm quite perplexed. Okay, so we've got Dry Bones,
Or did we swap Dry
Freddy.
Bones with Pyramid Head? Maybe that's what it was.
Could be, yeah,
I think
yeah, that
that's what
could
I
be
did.
it.
And
Okay,
then Alma. Okay.
all
Okay,
right.
cool. So you got two, I got two. I think that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, definitely.
All right. Scary little girl, skeleton turtle, zombie dogs, and robotic teddy bear.
I like it.
All right. Very,
Beauty.
very good. Well, that is our show. If you disagree and you have your own choices for the Mount Rushmore of scary video game characters, let us know. If you have a swap in our picks, let us know as well. So with Mark, I'm disappointed that we couldn't have Lee tonight, but obviously
Yeah,
things come up. We totally agree. He's busy getting ready for Extra Life. So folks, once again, Extra Life, check it out. PhoenixOverdrive.com. Go support them and help some sick kids. Mark, where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere as _Canardian. Checking out mostly Instagram, Threads. I'm still on X and in our Discord all the time.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I'm really getting into Threads, which I think everything goes to Instagram anyways. Maybe I think there's some incestuousness
There's
things
a little
going
bit
on
of
there.
cross.
Same company, but I'm at Txtra on Instagram, Threads, and the X. And Secret Friends Unite is at Secret Friends Unite on Threads, also on the X at Secret Friends U. So follow us there for all our stuff. So
yeah.
This has been a fun time. I know you're going to enjoy this on Dia de los Muertos, folks. So enjoy the video game fun. And remember, Mark, thank you for being on. Everyone have a good night. And remember, folks, it's always better to game together.